Welcome back to our next video. In this episode I'll be talking about client settings. Client settings are SCCM's mini group policy, if you want to call it that. It is recommended that you configure these first before pushing out your SCCM client to all users and devices on your network. Now I will show you how to create a custom one. Now I'm going to create a custom client device settings first. Now for the sake of my example, I'm just going to enable what I would like. But again, with your own SCCM, it's best that you have a look further into what you need and what your organization or educational institute needs. So for me, I'm just going to enable the client policy, compliance settings, computer agent, computer restart, endpoint. So once you've ticked what you need, just create your policy. So I will start off with the client policy. This is how long it polls SCCM for an update. With working at a school, I make a lot of changes on the fly, depending on what's needed. I actually change this to every 30 minutes. Compliance settings, I just leave as standard. Computer agent. Now this is actually a very important setting here. So I leave all of that normal. Default application website point. Now I haven't actually set up an application catalog yet, but I will get to that in another episode. Add default application to the internet trusted sites. I highly recommend this. I highly recommend allow Silverlight to run. This is where you put in your organizational name. So I'll just put my example. Install permissions. I allow it for all users. I don't worry about BitLocker. I say yes to this. With the PowerShell execution policy, I actually go bypass because sometimes I need to run scripts for an application to run, and at the moment, well, at work I don't allow unassigned scripts from running on PowerShell on the local computers. But if I want to do it through SCCM, I just go bypass. So that means any script that's deployed through SCCM will work on their computers. Show notifications for new deployments. I go yes. Computer restarts, they will just get a notification if an application requires their computer to restart. This will be explained in the software portal or software center. Now, in a school, you would have a mixture of desktops and laptops. This is a good setting for your desktops. This allows for wake up on LAN. I just leave that all as default. Remote tools. Now this is great for students who request remote assistance. So I will enable this, and I will enable it on the domain firewall. Users can change the policy. No. So we don't want the students being able to change the policies in the SC on their local client. Allow remote control of unattended computers, yes. I highly recommend that because not all the time a user will be at their computer. Prompt user for the remote control permission. Now, in my organisation or in educational institute, we go no. It's because sometimes students will be out of the classroom and we will need to do work to their computer, and a lot of the time they're not there to say yes. So I will choose no. Grant control permission to local administrators group, yes. So full control. I hide the session bar from the students, but I show the session bar for teachers. So this is just, again, this is just a custom group for students only. I don't play show session connection bar, no. I go with no sound. So in my workplace, we allow anyone part of the domain admins to be able to do this. Now, software deployment, we schedule this. Now, this is where it goes and finds new software that I put up. So I do a simple schedule and I make all computers poll for new software every 40 minutes. Again, this depends on what your needs are. And I'll just leave this as default. So SCCM will do a scan of the computer and reports back to what files are located on the computer. Now you can look further into this and scan more file types or different programs installed, but that's getting into a very custom setup, but I'm only going to go through the really basics. We'll go okay on that. And what we'll do now is go over to, I'll apply that. The mouse is just going a bit spaz at the moment. Just wait for it to load. I have no control over the mouse. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll go over to domain controller now, and we'll make a group. Alright, I'm just going to create a group called student laptops. And I'm going to copy, so by right clicking go in properties, I went to the object and I'm just going to copy this link, and you'll see why I do that in a second. So I'll go back to SCCM. And what I'm going to do is go to device collection, and we're going to create a device collection. I'm going to call it student laptops. And I'm going to choose the all system. I want to add a rule, query rule, student laptops, edit query. Criteria, now we want to look for, I believe it's system resource. Yep. Want to do OU group, system OU name, that's it. Value. It hasn't actually polled it yet. Student laptops. Yep. Next. Now what I've done there is linked an actual OU group or OU organizational unit to SCCM. So any computers you put into the organizational unit will now appear in your SCCM. This is a lot cleaner way. This makes sure that managing all computers and where they're located is done in one place instead of two. Now what I'll do is I'll go back to my client settings and apply that setting to the new organizational unit that I've just created. So I've done that. So now any computer or student laptop placed into Active Directory into that folder will automatically show in student laptops. In the next video I will be showing this in action. I'll see you then.